What is going on, you guys? MissedThePart here, back again with another Spider-Man PS5 video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day as always. So today's video, we are going to be talking about my expectations and concerns with Spider-Man PS5. Now, Spider-Man PS5 doesn't have a actual confirmed release date, but what we're going off of and all the leaks and rumors that we've been going off of is that it's going to be releasing probably either like next year or the year after in 2022. Now, I really need to get this off my chest, and that is, my expectations for this video game and the concerns that I have for the storyline and the gameplay and, everything revolving the first game. And, I want to tell, my side of like what I want to see and what my concerns are. So let's get into this. So the first kind of concerns and expectations that I have, well, we're gonna go for expectations first. Now, I'm really hoping this game does capture Spider-Man, once again, like as they did before. Like, I really want them to capture both the Peter Parker and Spider-Man side of the story, where half the story we can play as Peter Parker, and I really want half of it where we can play as Spider-Man as well, because I find once you have both of those two mixed up together, we have Peter Parker's life and then we have Spider-Man's life. I want that both, like happening all at once, where, we do Peter Parker's side missions, because, we only really had a few of those where, we could actually use the web shooters and play as, Spider-Man. That's an expectation that I have. I really want to see that, because, we've only saw it like about twice. In the video game, you actually had to like make a glitch. So you actually had to like glitch out of the map to swing around and free roam as Peter Parker. And something like that I definitely really want to see once again. They did a really good job with that the first time, but the second time around, I want to do it, where we could like actually like free roam and stuff with that. And I really want the weather patterns to change a lot. I want to see rain, I want to see thunder, maybe snow. And I really want it to actually cycle throughout the day. So instead of actually having it where you could change the day just kind of cycles through. So if you're not doing anything during that day, like, it's still going to pass you by. Like, the sun's still gonna set and the sun is still gonna rise. You don't actually change it, because the one thing I really didn't like, I was actually expecting it to be like Red Dead 2, but they didn't actually do that. They made you actually choose, and it took a long time, and it was like, really, like, I really don't want to change the day, because it's gonna take me like 10 seconds, but like those 10 seconds, like, I'm lazy, I don't want to do it. I just want the day to go through, and I want it to be kind of like what it is in real life. I want that to happen. Another expectation I have with this game would probably be like Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin is a character, like, I want him to be kind of like the 90s, where like, he wants to find out Spider-Man's identity, and I really want that cool bond with like Peter Parker, knowing that Norman Osborn's Green Goblin, and I want like Green Goblin to know that he's Peter Parker, and like that kind of thing. Like, they did that in the old comic books and stuff, where like, they both knew their identities, and I'm not sure if they've done memory wipe or what, but that was really cool. And I'm really expecting like Norman to really like step it up a notch, where like he was kind of like a coward in the first game, and the second game I really want him to like go like full on Green Goblin insane mode. And I really want Norman to, like, release the symbiote if, Harry is attached to the symbiote. I want a big connection between, Harry, Norman, and Spider-Man. That's an expectation I really have with this video game, because I always felt like, if we had Green Goblin, like, I want him not to be, the kind of Green Goblin where, he's always running away. Like, I want this Green Goblin to be like a killer, kind of like Spider-Man 2002. And I really want the game's costumes to really like cycle through. Like, it's really weird, because you could go with two things, and I'm really expecting, Insomniac Games and Sony to give us, pretty much like all the suits in Marvel Spider-Man 1, but then giving us all the costumes we didn't get in Marvel Spider-Man 2 with like, the Unlimited suit, the TASM suit. I'm expecting there to be like some kind of customization thing, but where like you can actually have that costume still be in all the cutscenes. So, if you go into New Game Plus and, you're doing the ending cutscene, I really want that to be like the ending cutscene, like where, you're not in a certain suit, kind of like the anti-ox suit. I want there to be like certain things where, you're not in that kind of position. And, I'm really expecting them to do like some kind of weird thing, when you're crawling up the wall. I want people to actually be in the building So, you know, if you see people, like, you're crawling the wall, you know, you see people in the building, you know, I want them to, like, drop their coffee or something, or, like, some people, like, open up the window. Like, that's something, you know, that I would love to see happen. And, you know, if you could actually just get the detail in that, like, where we're, like, you're, like, wall crawling, and, you know, people are, like, working, or, like, people are cleaning windows. Like, I want them to, like, react to Spider-Man and be pretty much, like, shocked or something. I think that would be really cool as well. And, you know, I just really wanted them to improve on, like, the mechanics with, like, the webbing and that kind of stuff. You know, I'm really excited what they're going to be doing, and I'm expecting them to, like, do a lot more, like, combos with that, like, where you can, like, do, like, air attacks and stuff with the webs, because, you know, we did get that a bit, but we didn't really get that a whole lot. So, you know, that's something that I really want to see. And another thing is I really want them to do the costumes. You know, I really want them to do, like, an animated style. So, you know, like, you take all of the suits, but then you can pretty much animate them all. You know, that's something I really want. And I want more crime. More crime is something we definitely need, where, you know, like, you could have, like, Carnage in the video game doing some kind of, like, you know, killing spree, and then you're just kind of, like, swinging in, like, you don't even know what's going on. Like, you're just swinging, you know, you're playing, and then all of a sudden, you know, you hear an alarm go off, or you hear something, and there's a villain, like a boss fight villain, and, you know, there's, like, new patterns. Like, it's not the same old patterns that you knew when you first defeated him. There's new ones, and then you gotta, like, learn how to defeat him again. So, like, the villain gets stronger, where, you know, like, you gotta go in there and, like, defeat him. You know, that's something that I really want as well. Now, the concerns that I have with this game, the concerns is, first off, the one concern that I have would definitely have to be the wall crawling. The wall crawling was pretty much, in my opinion, I did not like it. You know, the animation, it was almost, like, too slow, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I always felt like it was too slow. You know, I always felt like when I was wall crawling that there was just some weird thing to it. You know, it was just like, okay, well, if I can wall run, well, what's the point of wall crawling? Like, you know, it's only there because, you know, he wall crawls in the comics. But really, they didn't need to put that mechanic in there, because it's just like, well, if I can wall run and it only takes me 2 seconds, why would I wall crawl when it takes me, like, 15 seconds, you know? So there's a big difference there, and I know that they added it in because, you know, Spider-Man wall crawls. I mean, like, what else? But, like, they need to make it faster, because there was a scene in a, like, unreleased Spider-Man 1 scene where, you know, you see Spider-Man, like, wall crawling really fast. That's something that I want. I want to see, like, him go, like, crazy. You know, maybe he does something that accelerates it. I don't know, but they really need to fix that. Another concern that I have is making Harry Osborn Venom. That's something that I feel like the Ultimate series already did, where, you know, I just don't want them to repeat that again, because personally for me, you know, it was weird. I didn't really like it that much. I mean, it was cool dynamic between, you know, like, Spider-Man and Harry, but I don't know, like, I don't really want to see that, like, rehashed and redone again. That's a really bad concern that I have as well. Another concern would have to be costumes, because, you know, the suit problem where, you know, you have, like, 5 different classic suits. I really don't want those classic suits to take up other slots. Now, the way around it is always been customization. You know, that's a thing that I would love to see, where you can customize any of your costumes, or if you could even import, like, if you could actually import suits or, like, designs of your own, kind of like what WWE does, where, you know, you can import, like, logos and stuff. If you could do that with Marvel Spider-Man 2, that would be actually really cool. But, you know, customization is definitely something that, you know, it's concerning, because, you know, you really want it to, like, you want them to really do well on it, but, you know, you really want the costumes to be really done as well. Like, you want them to be, like, perfect, because, you know, if I'm getting Ultimate 616 Raimi, like, you know, ripped up, you know, that's already, like, 4 slots already taken. So hopefully in the next game, I hope there's, like, 70 slots. I know it seems like a lot, but, like, there's a lot of demand with costumes in, you know, Marvel Spider-Man, or any Spider-Man game, to be honest, because he has so many good ones that, like, you really need to put in those good suits, you know, like Sensational. And another concern would have to be too many villains. Now, this is one, like, I'm hearing, like, stuff that, like, Carnage might be in the game. That's cool and all, but, like, the thing is with all these different villains is they really need to be done right. You can't just shove villains in there, you know. I really do hope they do a good job with these kind of characters and villains. So, you know, that's something that I definitely really want them to do and not rush it. And, you know, if they ended up rushing, like, you know, put Magneto in there, put these characters in, like, I just don't see it happening. I don't know why. You know, Hobgoblin would be cool, but, like, if it's not rushed, then, you know, we could have something like that. And I think another thing would have to be the web swinging. You know, the web swinging definitely needs updates where, you know, you can actually web zip. Like, in certain areas, I found in Marvel Spider-Man 1, is, you know, you're able to do like web zipping and stuff, but like there was never like combinations where you could do this. And I find, you know, if you could do like combinations where you could web zip and, you know, you're fighting characters like on the ground, but you're in the air. Like, I want them to be like some kind of weird thing where you can just go like zoom in and just take them all down. You know, that would be really cool. And, you know, another thing, I think the last concern I really have is DLC. DLC is one thing where, like, instead of teasing costumes, I just want them to throw it out there. So, you know, if they're doing, like, let's just say that they're doing Maximum Carnage DLC for the second video game, like, I don't want them to, like, tease all the costumes out and be like, okay, well, you know, we're gonna reveal the first costume, but you can pre-order it. No, I want them to be like, okay, this is what you're getting. So you're getting the Vigilante suit, you're getting the Human Spider suit, and you're getting, like, the classic, you know, Ultimate Wrestling suit. That's what you're getting, and this is the DLC. You know, with the other game, they were like teasing stuff, and it was just like the City That Never Sleeps releasing the Raimi logo. So then everybody would go, you know, get the DLC before, and then, you know, you would listen, and then you would be like, UK suit, and it'd be like, no, Raimi suit. And it was like, what? So that's another concern I have. I really want them to like manage that a lot better with advertising and stuff. Like, I know that they want to make money, but like from a fan's point of view, you know, if you release all the stuff and just throw it out there and be like, okay, this is what you're getting, you know, then I know like what I'm actually getting. With like the first game, like you were just going in kind of like blind, you know. So that's something that I definitely want. And yeah, guys, let me know your concerns, your expectations. Do you want the game to be really good? For me personally, I really want Marvel Spider-Man 2 to be like 10 times better than the first one, because if we're getting PS5, that means like we already have 8K TVs out. So there's no reason somebody can be like, oh, well, that's too difficult to add in animation to like some guy walking his dog in New York City. It's just like, well, you know, you got to add in the detail, right? You got to add in people, you know, people like walking their dogs. You got to add in, you know, like snow, or, you know, the cycle to you know, the weather. You know, there's just stuff that you got to add in there because there's expectations. It's just like, why should I dish out $600 for like a PS5 and then I play this video game and, you know, it's just kind of like the other one with just like better graphics? Because for me personally, I'm just gonna say this, I always find that like developers are always going for more like graphics wise, where it's just like it's just like all this stuff is just completely good, like, oh my god, look at the graphics, and then the gameplay is garbage and the story is garbage, and, you know, it's just more focused on the graphics. That's just something I always felt like, you know, Red Dead 2 had that a lot, where, you know, it was just so much graphics, but like they took out the role, they took out so many mechanics that I just, like, for me, I couldn't play it. It was just like, this is just not for me. But yeah, I just hope that, you know, when Marvel Spider-Man 2 comes out, the concern I have is I really want the gameplay to really be nailed this time, and I really want the story to be well done for me. And, you know, I have high expectations, because the only game I'm buying is, you know, Spider-Man PS5. So anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, do make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn your notifications on so you and your friends are up to date with the latest content. But anyways, as always, peace out.